Hey guys, it's Starkin coming at you with another game of hardcore Diablo 2. We're here at level 52, Act 5 of Nightmare, with our Skelemancer, still alive, still kicking, still raising bones. Probably want to start spending points on Corpse Explosion rather than Revive. The other points in Revive, I mean, that was fun, that was cheeky, but really... we're going to want more points in Corpse Explosion because in Hell difficulty we're going to want to be able to clear rooms better, and with the higher resist monsters will have, we're going to want the hits from the corpses that we do manage to get to, be more prevalent, but we should still have a fine time through a bit. Skelemancer only really falls off like halfway through the highest difficulty. Mages are bad, but I get them anyway. They've never been good. They'll never be good. You could get, like, Conviction and be using lower resist. And, like, you could stack every ability you could possibly think of, and Skeleton Mages still would be absolute garbo. But, you cannot have everything. It's been explained to me anyway that you cannot. We're going to hide behind this wall. Because being smart, that's the order of the day. We're not going to... we're not playing here. We are gonna have so many revives, which is great. We have what, 9? Yeah, seems good. Yeah, and we're just gonna be partying, And that's the thing, when you're fighting like against Baal, you at least have the minion waves from the earlier ones when you're in the throne room, and you can bounce out and stuff. And ancients, we're pretty hardy with our, I wonder what that icon is that's going on there. I confess I don't know. But we're just gonna keep on moving forward. This is a great area. They really nail all of it. Whoa, boy, a lot of javos. Lot of javelins. We're just going to teleport up here. Make sure real quick we got lots of town portals. You don't want to be running in without that. And now that we're upstairs here, we don't have so much to worry about. You don't want to get separated from your men, or rather Skelemen. But, the bone armor continues to be good. And really, maybe taking bone armor could be fine, but I think getting Corpse Explosion is good too. One of the interesting things about Summoner is, you can improve other parts of the build a little bit beyond Skeleton and Skeleton Mastery, but it's a lot of golden one-hit wonder points, right? And once you get to just like level 50... you have a lot of choices about what you're going to do. Do you want to be slightly more survivable, right? Because you can pump your bone armor synergies with damage spells and try to sprinkle those in, which is not usually a thing that I do, although, like, it's not wrong to try. You can get some damage off of Bone Spear, right, and use it in extreme circumstances. This is a little sketchy. We got this wall here, though, which is very comfy. Our revives are still kicking. We've got a lot of javelins from far across. We're just trying to stick these on here. This is spectral hit and extra strong, so no particular danger to us there. Taking lots of shots to the shield, but bone armor's pretty good at this point, so we're making it just fine. It's been a few minutes now, so you just want to start grabbing new revives. They last 3 minutes and only 3 minutes. If they ever put an item into the game to make them last forever, everyone will get mad because they'll be like, "You've made people too happy." So weapon drop, yeah. You know, we should have super healing potions, not these crummy little greater ones. Because, like, greater healing potions are basically nothing. Do they sell supers in town yet, or is that just Act 1 of Hell when they do? Nope, they still... Man, that's rough. You know, we'll just try to pick some up when we see them. Now, the number one thing we want to keep a lookout for is our chest piece, because really, like, it's not... It's super good when you get it, but you cannot rely on a chest piece that only, like, gives you some hit recovery and fast cast and stuff. Like, you need real survivability stats out of it. We're gonna bounce. We're not messing with that curse. Probably be fine, but... Whoops. Mechanics armor? That's useless. We're gonna go to town and sell it anyway, though. Because I actually think we're kind of broke. Alright, I think the time has come for us to get rid of a couple of these grand charms of life. We're gonna put them in the box. They have like 10 and 11 life on them. I've carried them ever since the beginning, but you know, now that we have 800 life, if we ever die, that 20 life might have made the difference. But we need a little bit more inventory space for right now. I hate saying that out loud. It feels unwise. But no, I mean, you can die in Nightmare. This isn't where you worry about it, though. You know, you worry about dying in the Hell difficulty, but I mean, it's absolutely still dangerous where we are. So, you know, maybe getting rid of those is fine. Look, we've had a very, very small inventory for a while, and we actually do need to pick up more stuff. It's likely that we'll have to resurrect our mark a whole lot of times in the Lister/Baal fight before we get Baal into like a good position where he, you know, because all we got to do is get him up against a wall and our guys up against a wall and get the hits on him to get him slowed. But that might take a little bit of doing, and he can sometimes just absolutely kill everything in just a second. I'm not going to claim to understand how Baal works, but I know sometimes it does a lot better than other times. We'll see what it is now. I mean, not that we're close to him, you know, but you got to think about the future. And all the while, we got to evaluate like how strong we feel we're getting and especially how resistant we feel we are. Because how strong we are we're not going to get that much stronger, right? But we will get more confident in living, because if we don't have a way to get our resist higher by the time it's time to go to Baal, we're not going, right? We have to have... It's fire. I don't even think you really need lightning for him. I mean, you need it for before, but you got to have your light and cold high. So as long as we can find a way, or fire and cold, as long as we can find a way to get that, then we'll probably go right in. But if not, you know, then we will run Nightmare Countess till we get a rune or whatever for it. But I think we'll probably might even just make like an Ancient's Pledge. Might stick some runes in a body armor, right? Just to get up to max. And all of our beautiful quill rats firing at their own kind. Oh, it's wonderful. This is a lot of missile guys, but you know, with bone armor, even though you're going to get hit by a lot of them, at least you've got a big cushion before it starts getting all the way through. And although there's a lot of areas to move around, missiles can actually get line of sight on a lot of them, so a lot of your more annoying units will actually like engage the foe from far away. You know, the walls are less reliable, but that's alright. And this is a very good place for experience, like even once you've cleared the rest of the act. Although it can be pretty sketchy, but we're seeing here already, right, with just like 800 life, which is not that much in the grand scheme of things, but it's fine for right now. I would love to have several hundred more, you know, but we'll take what we can get. My necklace gives me like 87, which is a big chunk, you know, that's there's a lot of, that is a lot of javs. We're going to go over here, get away from the javelin fire a little bit. Getting poisoned, not so good. All good, though. Because a lot of what your job is as the necromancer, you know, you've got to guide your guys in, and then you've got to, like, you know, help them kill the foe, but you also are, like, distracting missile troops. So you got to be, like, moving quick, but not too quick, you know, making sure that some of the enemy isn't paying any attention to you so the rest of your guys can get it done. Got to be a very brave necromancer. Of course, in the highest difficulty, you have to behave much more. You know, it's all you got to gauge what you're doing all the time in hardcore by like just how the area feels, what you know about the mobs, and you know, just like, you know, you don't look at the numbers to figure out how strong you feel, right? You figure like right there, okay, that was one salvo by like 3 guys, and it took us 150 hit points plus the bone armor. So if we see more than that going around, just like 4 or 5, that is way too many. And bounce. We might have only been hit by like 2. Of course, a lot of these javelins are mine. That's the thing about revives. But if you just try to not get hit by them, usually they won't be going across you. That one was. We get hit by a couple there. That's the thing. Bone armor is so good. And you can get like 1 point in Bone Spirit, and then you put like points in Bone Wall, which is also a synergy with it. We're just going to not go in the portal right there. Like, I think we can just do this. Yes, indeed. Excellent. Tier rune, ever welcome. We've got the Overseer here. We're just trying to back up, like always. You know, you never want to give the fight to the boss where they start the fight. There's always some reason to not be there. Here, it's that we can hide behind this wall and be a little happy about it. This is a good wall. A lot of the walls they can, like, throw over and around. This one will protect us from everything except javelins, which are mostly on my side here, I think. There's Shank. The Overseer. Extra strong, multiple shots, but we're just going to slow him down. Now the clay golem's on him, and now he's crawling, and now he's popped. Those effects are his death effects. They don't hurt you. They do explode the screen with joy, though, right? That went on forever. Yeah, regular fireworks. In here, we've got this super unique. Eldritch the Rectifier, my old friend. He's extra fast to lightning enchanted. We've got him locked down at the moment. We're just gonna res all his old dudes and get him in there. This zone can often be pretty annoying. Not hyper dangerous, just pretty annoying. And that's the thing. Okay, well, we do have archers and brawlers. We might actually reset. It's just going to depend on what the last mob is. But that's already pretty rough. We'll just see, though. I've got okay fire resist. And Burning Dead archers of our own will be nice. You know, the charm, no. When would I ever use it? I mean, maybe someday, but the one thing we're definitely not doing is walking into that. We're going to walk right here. We've got a decrypt on the top and the bottom. We're going to do it again. Decryptify has a very small effect range, but if you just get it on like a brick of them and slow the attack, you know, it gets you somewhere. And now there are guys shooting arrows indistinguishable from our enemies. The good news is playing frantically and being afraid of failure is actually good for you. Sharp-Tooth Slayer, we're just going to... right here, because we don't have any of the little teleporting guys in the roll, and they're, like, so annoying. They're not, like, scary. They're just so annoying, so... And we need to get the barbarians, because then we can get the runes for Ancient Pledge, which we very well might make before we go too much further in. I'd like to have max resist, but and even with no, we do have teleporty guys. It was too much to hope that we wouldn't. These gates go right across. It's not so good. I mean, we could try to go down to one of those places. I mean, we would be able to evaluate if it was a terrible idea or not. And it could be interesting in that we could get some Minotaur demons and then run around for 3 minutes with them. After all, I do need better gear. Let's get these guys first, though. We don't want to be too cute about our entry into the realms below. After all, what if they followed us? I'm just joking. They don't know how. And a good thing, too. That would be uncomfortable. Alright, we've got our archers now. Let's go to Abaddon. Abaddon. Alright, Harpies, not terrible, not great. Archers, scary, not disastrous in this environment where there aren't blind corners. They might be able to get a lot of DPS across a wall, but that's not the same as being surprising, which is the real worry with them, right? Also, they make fine additions to our collection. Stygian dolls, we'll just stay away from them because that is dangerous, but not if Again, a lot of stuff that's super dangerous is not that dangerous in this context because you don't have, like, normally if you had this mob roll, you might be like, oh, I don't want to go there. But here, you're not getting caught, like, in a dark hallway. You know where they're going to be coming from, and you should be able to run away before it becomes a problem, I say, as my mercenary dies. We're going to pop this wall, though, first. As an extra strong archer crew. Yeah, no wonder. They have started dropping full rejuve potions, so that's nice. Of course, the thing about revives, too, is you don't want to spend too much time chilling once you get it rolling. Alright, we're just going to start pumping Corpse Explode a little bit. Makes it cost a bit more, doesn't really matter. Makes the radius a little bigger. Does matter, you know, it just takes time to matter. Rather have the blues for that. 7% enhanced damage, not really good enough to hold on to. 38 mana, same story there. Alright, let's get back to it. We got a little bit of time with our revives, then we get some more. Hey, Quillimp. You're playing Warlock? Cool, cool. What kind of Warlock you playing? I played it right when it came out, right? Well, maybe not like the exact day, whatever. But I played up until Hell, and I had a good time with it. And then the ladder came out, and I thought, well, I'll try hardcore on my old hardcore standby. You know, the Skelemancer, the class that I feel like I know best. I'm not saying I'm good, just, you know, I've played a lot of skeleton necromancers in my day, and I thought it could be fun to try to go for, you know, a hardcore victory. Abyss with Hephaestus. Nice, nice. You know, that's what I was thinking I might do if I went for it. My build, whenever I was playing, I was just taking a point in everything, you know, like a total noob. You know, oh, we forgot to get the Merc. I'm like, why am I out of mana? That's ridiculous. And then I used Lister for a lot of Nightmare, but Hephaestus, I feel like that would have been the move. And then I did Fire on mine. I ultimately went to like Fire Wave and Fire Nova, but of course in Hell that's not very practicable. But I mean, magic damage, obviously. What's magic immune? Not enough to have to care about. And on the other side of the pond there, it's just a bunch of dolls, which is super funny considering the mob rolls here that the archers were over here. You know, get wrecked. We're just going to run over here. There might be some archer bodies left here still. We weren't away that long ago. Nope, they're already gone. But no, I thought Warlock was super cool. And I was happy to have played a chunk of it before they take away super uniques, if they ever do. If they ever do. Maybe they won't. When my friend told me he was using Lister, I was like, that's crazy, you know, and he didn't explain that it stayed between worlds, so I got to learn that whenever I moved to Nightmare, and I just started cracking up, which I did several other times. Conviction Smash, yeah, you know, it also does reduce their defense, the little known, well, or rather, little paid, everybody knows it's there, but you don't think about it, right? When you think of Conviction, you think of getting rid of immunities, at least that's what I think of. I did build a, you know, back when this came out, the Resurrected, that is to say, you know, I built a couple of my old standby characters. So, you know, I had my cold Sork for magic find stuff, and then, you know, once I got an Enigma, I built a summon Necromancer to farm, you know, Pindleskin and whatever else. Whatever wasn't convenient for the Sork to farm, you know, Baal. And then, you know, I don't think I actually built a hammer den, although I love hammer den. Wow, that's a lot of damage from the poison. Let's just go ahead. I mean, I guess we just have 25 resist. That was just more than I wanted to pay in poison damage, though. But we got a good wall here that'll block most of what's going on over there. And the chest, what do we get? Well, you know, it's the journey that really matters, right? And he is super poisoned. Can we get here before he dies? Yeah, the poison's already over, but that's okay then. Do we backtrack or telly in and run up? I think we'll just run up the other side. We do need to find another barb camp. Although there probably won't be one to the right here. It'll probably be 2 or 3 more further up, but that's okay. Just hiding behind this wall like a gentleman. Alright, how you doing? Arcane runs on ladder. Yeah, you know, oh, right, because I was like, man, I hate Arcane Sanctuary if you don't have teleport. But I have to say, one of the most fun things is, like, how complete the Warlock kit felt, right? Multi-shot? No, just a lot of them, okay. Like, when you have the weapon throw, and it's actually balanced, right? You know, with the long 0.8 second wind-up, you don't feel like you're teleporting or even leaping. Hey, okay. Melibrega's robe. We're gonna sell it, you know, for money, but it's always good to see a new item. You know, ancient armor doesn't drop all the time. We would never wear that on any character, but I do know that it's worth max money. And, you know, we are entering into a life where, you know, we're gonna be seeing our merc die more and more. Not me. We're gonna live. We have to live forever. Obviously, me dying's not an option. But what specific runes? What are you trying to build? Or are you just saying, you know, give me some mid runes and then I'll try to like figure out what you build with it? I had some pretty solid luck, you know, with what I was doing. You know, I needed to build a spirit base, and I needed to build a spirit, and I had a base drop. You know, I needed a soul rune just to put insight together. I didn't have a good base for it, but you know, you can build a lot of insights in your life. Hazebang the Howler. Oh no, let's feed Asab a full rejuve potion and go up here. That's too much damage. Are we cursed? Yeah, we're cursed. We're just gonna go up here. Full rejuve is worth it to give it to him to save his life because it's like 20. Heart of the Oak. Nice, nice. You know, I love when there's a rune word like that that gives you everything that you want, you know. Here's your fast cast, here's your resists, here's your skills. That's what, Kovex Pulthol, right? So, Vexes, man, you could... There's so many good things that want a Vex. And Pull, of course. I mean, a Pull is practically an and you could use an for anything. Ethereal armor that repairs itself. Always fun to see. Not important, right? Because we're not a class that cares about defense. And the Merc. Ooh. The Merc. Those Burning Dead archers are inside there with them. Just hit them, guys. Just punch them with your hands. Like, they've made you feel like you're powerless, but you're very brave. You can deal with this. Come on now. To be fair, it's hard to feel pretty safe when a guy with a bunch of skeletons walks up and says, "Come with me if you want to live." Yeah, my defensive stats are not in the best space right now, but I figure, you know, we can get them to where, like, I'm not going to just get spiked by Baal, and then if I evaluate that I need to get out, I'll just get out and level up further, you know, and try to get something more, or just, you know, throw a couple Rows and a Thul into a 3-socket shield type of thing, you know, just put 90 fire resistance somewhere to hit the max. But I'm hopeful that we'll just be able to rock through and, you know, with courage and, like, the macro greatness of a skeleton summoner, just get in there, get out, be able to get terrorized zones, and then probably try to hit, you know, like, 20 levels before we go to hell. What I want to see. I want to see a Mosers drop. That's what I would love. Just throw a perfect diamond in it. Oh, that guy's extra fast, extra strong, and fire enchanted. Well, we'll just get stuck on, and now he's toast. Those are faster than regular Night Clan. Oh yeah, they are. Even when they decrypify, they're hauling, but... I wish the loot filter worked when you're holding a controller and not just when you're on keyboard and mouse, because I find it so much easier to play with a controller now. Maybe there's a way to, like, play with keyboard and mouse that's good, and I just don't know it. But even with, like, the super inconvenience of corpse exploding the wrong things all the time, like, I just feel like it's so much easier to play. Champs that teleport. We're just going to move here into the open land. Conviction on us, alright. Well, we don't have anyone around that really punishes that. The little guys don't do that much damage. We're just going to be holding back, though. Alright, now the conviction's gone. Like, please break us out, guys. Because, like, I actually can't open a door, right? I gotta have them do it. I'm too weak. These dudes are very good minions. You can't call them great, because, like, some minions can have, like, Crushing Blow and stuff. And Frenzy, and have abnormally high hit points, or, like, cool casters, you know. They're legitimately great revives to get. But these guys are very quick, and that makes them very good revives, because their virtuous nature, you know, allows them to get on the foe. Cold Enchanted, let's get a little further away for discipline. Hey Kashimo, how are you? Welcome to Act 5. Well, I mean, we're at the area plateau. We've been here a minute now. A 37-minute now. Things are going well. I'm doing just fine, enjoying my day off. And rocking out, you know. Got the Diablo kill earlier. That felt good. I was more worried about that than the Baal kill, truly. Although Act 5, I am more worried about than Act 4, given that it's shorter. Our Act 4 was actually really funny. We got really easy enemy rolls in the first two zones, and then when we were in City of the Damned, as soon as we walked in, immediately we got the waypoint and the way down to River of Flame, and then a pretty light enemy roll there too. Kind of charmed, honestly. Whoops. Note to self. That one hurt. All I did was kick a barrel. But it won't let me send my dudes to kick a barrel. Do you want to go down here? I mean, last time it went so well. We'll just check the mobs. Here at the Pit of Acheron, what do we get? I'm on 69% lightning resist, so even if it's something super rough or fine. Alright, Minotaurs and Imps. It's not as easy as it could be. Not a disaster. Minos in a vacuum are terrifying. Minos in this specific context, probably fine. And they'll be fun to get. The bulk of our fellows are locked over on the other side. Can we get them to telly by, like, moving here? Yes. Nope. Alright, we're just going to need to jump in, jump out. The last one of these we went to, we got nothing good out of the chest at the end, just like always, just like it's normal. So maybe this time will be different. You gotta believe, right? I mean, you don't have to believe. You can do anything you want, but you gotta believe. You gotta open up all the stashes. I mean, like, that could have been... That was a Curus, so, I mean, that could have been, you know, a Duriel shell. That would have been nice. I'd love to have a Duriel shell going into hell for my dude. Because we don't have CBF on the Merc yet, and it's not really that simple to get for him. But now we have a bunch of Minotaurs all frenzying up. Glorious. Like this. Oh, and Salamanders. This is actually a kind of nasty run, but accordingly, it's good for me. Also, with these big open spaces, I mean, we're not going to get surprised by snakes, right? We won't. Not to the degree that they're surprised by my glorious, beautiful Minotaur horde going in. Ah, this is the good stuff right here. Oh, we can't. That's a barrier. Form a barricade. Can you sing Les Mis? I don't know. I don't know if they come for you if you do that. Does the mouse own Les Mis? More glorious minotaurs, more glorious time. Like this is this is what the revived life is about, right? Because they have frenzy, and boy oh boy do dudes with frenzy get going. They run so fast, they hit so quick, and then they just keep on balling. You don't have to tell the minotaurs to find, like, the enemy. It's all descend towards enemy with the minotaurs. Took a little bit of a hit there. Let's go ahead and... Well, just 11 fire resist. It's not enough. If we move off of Rhyme on the Shield for Ancient's Pledge, we get 48 to all-ish, right? It's 48, something like that. That would be 23 more. That's a big number. We lose CBF and a little bit of Magic Find and some other stuff that doesn't matter. But mainly it's just losing CBF. Is it worth losing? Probably. Garbage. Here, we don't have the, we don't have the waypoint for area, and it's too long of a walk. So we're going to take this way out. We kill all the mobs, so, well, almost all of them anyway. What I mean to say is, it's not going to be a frightening time to run through here on account of how the biggest ones have been taken care of. Yeah, the, Moonlords do work. But unfortunately, of course, their time will always come, which I think they're about timed out right now. We're just going to go ahead and start getting them. I saw the revive count start dropping, and that usually means, you know, the timer's up. That bone wand couldn't possibly be worth wearing, I don't think, not compared to Spirit, but it may sell for a tidy sum. It will sell for a tidy sum. Tidy sum. You know, the resist on it's interesting. We might actually hold on to it for the Baal fight. Please be a good ring. It is not a good ring. Is it better than my 40 to mana ring, though? Yes, technically yes. I don't think we would use this, because, like, where would we get rid of the cold resist at? I mean, on the boots, theoretically, to something else, but I feel like, no, we'll just chop that out. We won't wear it. But, I mean, because that's a lot of hit points and magic to lose. And the massive hit recovery, yeah, I don't think we will. It's kind of a lot of mana. We'll keep it in the box. It's like a level 18 sorceress would love to have that much. Because if we make it Ancient's Pledge, the only thing that we're really getting better is fire. And poison. All we really lose is CBF though, right? So, which is good, and Magic Find, which is good. I think we'll be fine. Through most of it, getting frozen would be more dangerous than taking more damage on the fire, and then on, like, Baal, same thing, right? Because, yeah, we get the knockback that we're going to want to be able to not get slowed by. Yeah, we'll just have to find the fire resist somewhere else. Oh, that is... Champ Bloodlords. Gross. You can't res champs. Sure wish you could. Now we need the waypoint here before we continue. Because Frozen River is a place we're going to need to like go out of, and we have to come back here for story progression. So, and we will get 10 resist through doing that line, and that's another thing to consider. I mean, I definitely don't want to be summoning these bone mages. Even a much stronger bone mage is a very weak thing. It's like we've got bone mages, leapers, and then bloodlords. Just a wildly different set of power levels, but hey, I'm okay with it. It's gonna let us get through here after all. And it gives us just enough of a big old spike to bash our way through. Hey Chase, this is Diablo 2 Resurrected, yes. We are playing a hardcore ladder character. This is Act 5 of Nightmare, so the final act in Nightmare, which is the second of 3 difficulty levels. Hardcore, of course, the concept you'd be familiar with. Die once, die forever. But we haven't died. We're a necromancer, basically based around, you know, reviving skeletons and then blowing up bodies of the foe. That's the core gameplay loop. And we throw curses onto them to make them weaker, or slower, or you know, any other thing. But usually just to make them take more damage. But a lot of the time I'm doing the one to slow them down because, you know, on hardcore, your priorities are different. While on a regular softcore playthrough, a normal playthrough of Diablo, you know, like, you know, you die, you get back up, you go right back, you're fine. But here, where the stakes are higher, you know, a slower and more deliberate style is called for. Seriously, consider buying Path on Switch. It was cheap. I love Diablo 2, but it's not a modern game, right? And it's probably never going to feel like one. From what I didn't play Path of Exile a bunch, I just played Path of Exile 2 a little bit when it was on a free weekend. I wouldn't think that if you'd never played this before, you'd think, wow, I'm so glad I stopped playing Path of Exile and picked this up. I like Diablo 2 because I've always liked it. My impression of the short amount of Path of Exile 2 that I played is that it is a much richer game system with a lot more capability for, you know, like creativity and longevity in the player base. most people that really love Diablo 2 have loved it for a really long time, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I love it. You know, I've loved it since I was a teenager, since it came out. It's always been one of my very favorite games. So when I saw there was an expansion with a new class, I had to play it, and then I, you know, fell back into my old favorite class rather than playing the new one on hardcore. I am going to play Path of Exile when it drops for free in April. Yes, I definitely will. I was just talking to one of my buddies at work, and he was talking about how it was coming out soon. I was like, oh, that's awesome, you know. Definitely interested in it, and that is something that is going to happen. You know, I don't know how long we're going to play it. I don't know what style we're going to be. I don't think we'll play hardcore, right? Hardcore, if they even have it, I imagine they do. No, that's right, they definitely do. I've heard news stories. Never mind. Not important. But, you know, we're going to play softcore just because you don't play a game hardcore without expertise. I mean, I did in Minecraft, but that's different. But yeah, no, I think it should be... fun. I love, you know, action RPGs and stuff, so... You know, this style of game is very good, in my opinion. 4-socket battle staff with +1 shiver armor. We don't really... Nah, we wouldn't care about that. Do you need to prepare any before we go to Anya? No, I mean, what's it going to be down there? And just normal stuff. Charging Skellies. Frosty Boys. Harpies. Do they have Gloams down there? I don't think so. We have like 70 light resist anyway. It's totally fine. Our Spirit rolled a 3 on Magic Absorb, which just stinks. But, you know, it's okay. Got a 33 on the fast cast. Oh, and mages. Awesome. And vipers. Well, that's a little bit nasty, but the vipers will be really good for revives. Creepers, of course, really annoying because they don't leave bodies, but you always expect to see creepers here. Amount of burn and multi-shot. Well, we'll just... Oh, yeah, there it is, a little multi-shot there, isn't it? Should check the belt. Because our belt is just pure life. No, just pure life. Yeah, we could definitely get a better belt than that. Didn't. Could, though. Teleport. On the mob, I mean. And lightning enchanted. Not so bad again. Not so bad for us because we've got our lightning resist where they want to be. Bramble mitts, very nice. Getting rejuve potion drops like crazy. Whoa, why did I do that? I thought I was in a safe spot. You know, it's fine. We only took a little bit. Still, I gotta be more disciplined, right? I cannot be checking my inventory when we're out in the middle of a zone. It's not wise. I gotta act right. I know, I'm excited to pick a class. Maybe I won't play a summoner. Do they have like a shapeshifter one? That would be cool. I'll probably just play a summoner though. I just love summoners. It's not because they don't die. It's not. I just like them. Always have. I like summoners even when they're really bad. I've played like druid summoners, which if you don't play this game, you don't know any of what that really entails, but they're not good. They may be the worst class in the game, but I've built them. I haven't like beat hell with them. I don't I don't know if it's feasible, but you could probably do it just with a merc, you know. But at that point, are you really a summoner? Or do you just find a way to leverage a merc? Still. We're just going to hide around this corner to avoid the bone spears. So many bone spears. Yeah, I've played a couple of other things a couple of times since this came out, but it's definitely, since I started the hardcore playthrough especially, it's been captivating me, because it's like, you know, how far will I get? You know, because I'm not trying to go for like level 99 or whatever. That's not what this is about, although that would be sick. That's like a lot of time, and I don't really know if that's like what I'm trying to do. I've never had a 99 before. It might be easier to do now than it used to be, but I've never done it, you know? It's not like one of my priorities, exactly. Alright. Now that we did that, let's go to the frozen river. Which I was absolutely trying to do earlier, but I went into the wrong place and didn't notice it. And I thought we were in the frozen river that whole time. So, welcome to the frozen river. I thought that mob set was wrong. We still do have vipers, though. It felt like the mages weren't right. We get an Ithroon. They have claw vipers on the other side. That is pretty annoying, right? Frozen creepers don't leave bodies, so that is pretty annoying too. Multi-shot and curse, that is really annoying too. And of course we're feeling the lack of CBF on our merc here when our main hitter doesn't get the damage in. But there we go. He isolates him, gets the shots in. Lancers, I mean, okay. They're not going to get me. There's a lot of choke points here. We're seeing the power of all that bone spear there. They are very slowly getting that claw viper down. Never should have come here. I should leave and get this curse off. It's lasting forever. I really should. I should stop talking about it. I should be more responsible is what I should be. Shouldn't be walking around with a curse like that for any length of time. Very bad behavior. We're going to swap to full rejuves on the second slot now. Terrible. Worth a lot of money, though. Having full rejuves on your belt is very important. And we have a ton of them, right? Like, we have 15 full rejuves made and then enough for 13 more. That's a lot of full rejuves. That's probably enough for the whole hell run unless we act very careless. But, you know, you just gotta keep on picking them up, right? You never want to be in a situation where you think, man, this isn't safe to go out. You know, I need rejuves. And you have to have them because healing potions only heal like 500, right? Which we already have 800 HP. And moreover, they take time to heal you. And if you're getting trucked on, you need instant heals. And you might need 500 a second. Now, if you have 8, full rejuves in your belt, that's a huge insurance policy that you can just spike. And when you have a lot more left, you know, you don't have to worry about running out of them. That is why we've spent the entire run picking up every rejuvenation potion we can see. Don't love that. These are such great revives, though. Really, really quick creatures that get into melee are nice. Missile creatures with super long ranges are nice. You know, anything with a cold enchantment or anything like that is nice. Some people get really worried about, like, bodies not happening, but, you know, on hardcore, it's just about surviving, right? Shemshir is a sort of scimitar, which we do not need. Like, that's, there's a unique of those, it's pretty fun. But if we lose the armor for resist, which we might have to do, we're going to need to make up that speed somewhere else. Maybe just in boots. Because you can get like a 4-socket armor and give yourself, you know, a whole lot of resist all that way. Just, you know, a couple Rowls, couple Orts, now you're ready to roll. Because I am loath to go into hell without very high resists and don't intend to. You can get really, really amazing experience in Nightmare for a long time. We don't have to go to Baal right away, but we're just probably going to try because, I mean, we're churning through all right. You know, we'll evaluate at Ancients also, but I think that should be fine. Two. Disappointing. The evil urn spawns a creature pack around. You just got to be ready to move as soon as you do it. Because, of course, like right there, you know. You don't know what mods they'll be. You can't check them close up. You never hit those in hell. In Nightmare, you just got to evaluate how you feel, right? And I feel fine about where our survivability is at the moment. Although, of course, it can always be better. I'm gonna go try to gamble some boots real quick. Oh, is Nilithok already gone? Because we've been in Frozen River, right? Sometimes a regular potion will sneak in, like we have a regular mana pot there, which is fine. We don't really need mana potions there within the site. It's just mainly like a comfort thing, because like if he gets popped, we're still going to maybe want to get, you know, mana real quick. And it sort of keeps you, you know, doing things one way for later on. Like maybe we don't have insight on them later on, because sometimes that's the call you make, is you give them something that's got crushing blow to get through stuff better, which, you know, for bosses we still might put on a low damage crushing blow thing. You know, it just depends. Especially for hell bosses, somebody like Diablo, you know, is a lot easier to deal with quickly there. We're gonna have Bone Spear City going on here. The good spears are going the other way, the bad ones are going this way. They've already got a kill over there, so we're gonna blow up a body and let him hit the floor. Beautiful stuff. These Bone Spear minions are actually very effective, right? Because it doesn't do the craziest damage, but Bone Spear goes on for a long way, and it pierces, so actually pretty effective indeed. I don't know why I'm saying it's not very effective. It's pretty effective. I mean, if I had a crew of those permanently, I would be so psyched about our prospects, right? Like, they do solid damage. That's good work, right? That's good work. Of course, we can never have them permanently. That's not the Necromancer life. The only permanence is death. The skeleton. The golem. An old frozen stein couldn't help himself. He perishes. Now we're gonna go pop the chump at the heart of this. Now, going to the Halls of Pain and stuff, they can have sketchy mobs. The realest danger is forgetting that he has Corpse Explosion and getting popped by it when you go into his room. But we're not going to do that. We're going to say it out loud several times, and that'll protect us from harm. Real quick, we just want to gamble a belt. Or boots, but a belt is best because that belt just has life. And the other belt, this belt could be anything that we wanted, you know, like it could even have life on it. Like, sure, we already have max cold resist, but it also has fire resist. Good enough. Look, honestly, 12 fire resist is worth the 13 life any day, any day. And being over cap is fine. Because that'll at least have us at 0 when we go into hell, and that is better than what will be in all the other ones. We're not going to be able to take this gear in there. That's very clear, you know, but stealth doesn't age well. It's amazing when you get it, but, you know, it doesn't do the work. We're going to have to find something else that does. And it might involve just buying, you know, Or rather, just getting a 3 or 4 socket armor and throwing runes into it. But what we're going to do now is walk into the temple. Now, the funny thing about this, so you walk further in and these guys all get resurrected, right? But until you walk in, they're just bodies, so you can just resurrect them, and now they're all your guys. It's very funny. Also, whenever you boot in as a necromancer, you can just go here and get your bodies. How long's this playthrough been for? Oh, more than 10 hours, probably. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, more than 10 hours, I would say. But no, I've been playing. Cause I played Warlock, and then I've been playing this playthrough also. But I've been playing a big chunk of this in the last couple of weeks. Luna is a small shield of the biggest variety. Too much strength for us to use. Now it's time for Pendleskin. We all know Pendle. Don't go. They have charge, so just don't go in. Don't go in the door. Don't get yourself charged by defiled warriors and Pendleskin. Don't do it. Don't be a walnut. I've killed Pendle thousands and thousands of times. He's killed me a lot of times too. These boots are trash. Oh, I haven't clicked on PC. Yeah, this game is so much better to play on a controller, in my opinion. Although, like, for inventory management, I'm always doing this to, like, move stuff around and going to my keyboard and mouse. But, yeah, the click to move is pretty annoying, and you have to, like, set up... The way the game's built is, like, back in the day you had, like, your left click and right click, and that's how you did your abilities. And then, you had your hotkeys, or you could, like, scroll down, bind your skills, right? And so here on the controller, you've got a trigger, so you have access to 12 abilities rather than having to scroll to get to another one, So if I want to curse, golem, do whatever, it's very fluid. It feels great. It feels amazing to play on controller. Sometimes there's a couple annoying things, and like if you're trying to pick stuff up, it can be really annoying. But for just gameplay, yeah, the controller definitely is. It does. Although it was built to be played with a keyboard and mouse, it feels like playing it with the keyboard is right. And the only time you want to play with the keyboard and mouse is in menus. And that's how it feels to me. Ooh, there's the... I was like, there's going to be someone dangerous here. We do have Moonlords. It's alright, of course, because we'll just get them ourselves and then, party all the time. Party all the time. Spectral hit extra fast. That's bad. Not a disaster bad. But, you just got to keep an eye. We got our decrypt going, so we're okay. Our other guys on the other side of the wall are not, like, taking this seriously, though. We need to get our Merc to engage, but he, like, doesn't feel like it. There we go. Everyone else is in now. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I missed the part. That's my problem. But these Night Lords are gonna be real tough, so we're just gonna grab them and run. We're gonna try to use these guys. They're gonna cut through these fools, so we just need to charge on in. Devilkin Shaman. We don't have super high fire resist, so we need to be wary. But of course, we also need to keep on rolling because we've got these Moonlords who are going to be just smashing as long as they're up. Extra fast because there's the minions of the extra fast one, so they're already the punchiest boys. Beautiful. Destruction, disaster, got to love it. Absolutely gotta love it. Hey Chase, good night. See you soon. I'm glad you got to catch it as well. But yeah, I will definitely be playing Path of Exile when it releases for free to play. I might even play it like right when it released, but probably like within, you know, I never know what I'll be into on whatever given time, but I definitely will be trying to do it around when it comes out, because I am excited to see what it'll be like. I really liked the free weekend. But good night. Next, we need to start getting perfect diamonds, because I don't even know if I have enough perfect diamonds yet for what we need. Because we could just get like 3 socket shield, 3 perfect diamonds. That's a bunch of resists. And depending on what we can find as we go through, could be what we go with. But ideally, we'll get something that'll let us make like a nice rune word that gives us some resists for the chest piece. Or we'll get like a Skin of the Viper Magi. That could be real nice. You know, it's not amazing, but hey, it's got plus skills. Resist all, fast cast, you know, just a generic decent piece. Because, I mean, that's like a level 29 required item, but it's still like, you know, it could be dropping. Stuff drops. Like, actually, I'm like, that doesn't have, like, any any abilities on it. It probably won't sell for very much. Dragon Shield's like a kite shield. It can't have 4 sockets because only a monarch could. That one is... yeah, just ethereal Garbo. The other thing is, the same button that picks things up is the button that I use for Corpse Explosion, which is pretty annoying sometimes, but hey, what are you gonna do? Longsword's really not desirable for a spirit base because it has a dexterity requirement, which many classes that want a spirit don't want to put a single point into dex ever. 32 life. Come on, what about the skills? Plenty of the big guys running around. They do really respectable damage, and Frenzy's so good because, you know, like they run faster and swing faster the longer they're running and swinging, and well, I'm all for that. Lots of times I'll open with a Decrepify just to get into position, you know, because if I can't check what's going on yet, them being slower is always better than any alternative. Slow the guys at the front. They're not going to pop whoever's... They're fighting there. Let everybody else catch up. Let me see what's going on. Oh, my golem. And you, indeed. Yeah, I'm still alive. Yeah. You know, and so on. You know the song. Sorry, I should have warned you I might sing spontaneously. Yep, we got aggressive Skelly boys, we got ultra aggressive Minotaur boys. Chest over there. Couldn't find our way down. This is a super big area. You don't always find your way down immediately, but we're getting the chest, so that's good. Indeed. And, you know, right now we're doing well, and the world, you know, what's left of it is doing fine, too. You know, we're going to be a noble necromancer once we've taken over. We're not going to be one of those bad necromancers who sits on a throne of bones. It's going to be a stylish recliner of bones. Better for the back. Big room of dudes, get a body, and then watch them hit the floor around it. Got a well, very good. That guy's name is Dragon Shield? That's the name of the sleeves I buy for magic cards. It's not a very Diablo name, is it? Dragon Shield. I mean, it's a sweet name, but it's not like the name of a bad guy in Diablo. That is a lot of missile fire. We're gonna go around the wall here. It doesn't look like there's a wall, but there is. Right here. Good news is it's grubs, which are very weak and generate lots of bodies. Super bad revives if you happen to misclick on them, though, but at least the backups for these Razor Spines won't be anything scary. We'll get some Razor Spines ourselves, of course, because they do fine work as summons. Not amazing, nothing dramatic, but, you know, solid, respectable work. Got a lightning enchanted guy in there. We've got max lightning, right? So we're fine there. We don't have to worry about being close or anything. Karate explosions. We're going to check the shield, because the shield could theoretically have really, really good resists that we want. Okay. Okay. Here we have a rare shield with 21 light resist and 2 sockets. So, I mean, that's pretty okay. The thing is, though, is as cool as that is, we could just take, like, a 3-socket kite shield, right? And throw, like, you know, a couple of, like a Rowlort and Tholen there and still be better off. Because the Rowl would be slightly better, you know, and we could get 30%. Yeah, but I mean, it's still pretty cool. It's just, you know, we could use a generic shield and... Yeah, because of Ancient's Pledge. Yeah, because of Ancient's Pledge, not so good. Because we could just make a pledge anytime, which we might do soon, but... Pledge being the Ancient's Pledge. It's the name of a very nice rune word you can put. It's just like a base one on the shield. It gives you resist all. Zealots? Huh. Oh, and the blizzard ones. Well, fortunately we have high resist of those. Got hit. I think we're fine. We're just gonna, yeah, that didn't last too long. That blizzard is a little nasty though, right? Not least because it just slows our guys down. We're okay on it. I'm not super worried about us. With max resist, you know, you just don't take that much damage from it. Not in Nightmare, and hell, even with max resist, there's certain abilities that just dudes will cast that you need to be worried about, but... Get the old Halls of Pain waypoint. Once upon a time, you like didn't want to get the waypoint because if you could, you couldn't like have the portal anymore to go kill Pindle. But if I'm not mistaken, that's been gone for a long time. Because I remember killing Pindle Skin and getting to pop Noathok all the time on my Magic Find Necro. Because like Noathok was my run. That was what I did. That was the one I didn't do on my Sorceress. And, you know, you could do Baal and stuff sometimes and cows, but I had a Javazon for cows, so... Javazons are, like, my favorite. I mean, in a way where that's not true, and my favorite is definitely, obviously, the Necromancer, but Javazons are one of my favorites. I actually love both styles as on. Well, there are 3 styles, right? 3 true ones. Poison doesn't count. You know, you've got Jabby, Stabby, which doesn't, like, no, there are no Spearsons, are there? I don't think so. Anyway, there are bosons and javazons and then jabazons. And I like jav, not jab. You put 1 point into jab, and then you weapon swap for crushing blow stuff. Like a gentleman. All in all, a very low lethality floor, though, right? While there's some danger with the range things and the blizzard, you know, our cold resist is in a good enough spot where that's not really a worry for us. Of course, the one thing about having cannot be frozen, which can sometimes happen, is you won't see that you're taking cold damage. You know, because it's not slowing you at all. It's not knocking you back. It's just everything's normal, so. Of course, if we get Hierophants, then we'll have the Blizzard. And then it'll be impossible to know where we can stand and not. And we'll just try to not stand in the Blizzard, and when we fail, that's okay too. Don't love my choice there. To run forward. Not like a good one, right? Not a disaster, but not like a good choice. Not like a good choice at all. Now we're getting like a lot of these casters, which is super fun. And makes it legitimately impossible to see where the blizzards are, rather than just very hard. Just as planned. Yeah, this is... They were just back here laying eggs that whole time. So many eggs. But, you know. It's all over now. A lot of bones. Yeah, see, the blizzard's not as fun when it happens to you. Haha! A dull rune. Got a couple of those, but not bad. Not bad. Would have preferred something lower or higher, maybe, but hey, get a few of them. We can cube them up if we have to. Now I've got all these blizzards, and most of them are mine. Oh, it's nice. This is the Necromancer dream right here. The Orchestra of Destruction. The Symphony of Bones. Time for the Halls of Ot. Alright, so, to recap. Nilithok has a corpse explosion ability. Do not walk into bodies. Do not allow yourself to be around bodies. Preemptively destroy or resurrect bodies. Do not die to Nilithok's corpse explosion ability. If it happens now, no one to blame but myself. Tomb Vipers shooting. Oh, those are actually really, really terrible attacks to get hit by, right? They have like they can really just really kill you quick. Tomb Vipers are messes. I mean, we're gonna have them on our side, but it's still there. It's a nasty ability. You don't want to. And of course, we're the ones that summoned those guys out, but you know. We're gonna go back and kill them, because of course we are. They actually do like super big damage against the foe and such, but we can't move too fast, because if we do, we're going to run into it, and then we're going to be the one who takes too much damage from it. And you don't always realize you've walked into Nullithok's room until he has eliminated your ability to ever be happy again by crunching you. We're just going to move forward gracefully, carefully, thoughtfully. Alright, and then we'll hit the gem shine, getting us a perfect diamond. Which we theoretically might throw in a shield, but like you throw perfect diamonds in socketed elite shields, because they can't. Basically, it's Ancient Pledge in a shield, and that's better than the diamonds, unless you can get 4, in which case you take 150 strength. Don't do that, take life. Alright. About to be in the real room now. Because there are no other choices. Well, past a little bit here. We're just going to continue on. Plenty of revives. Keeping distance between ourselves and the bodies. Just don't be surprised by an ability you know is there, and we'll be fine. We're gonna heal our dudes real quick before we go in. It's not sketchy unless you like walk in where you're not supposed to go. Oh yeah, scroll resistance. We already got that. That's good. Take a step to, you know, we're over cap cold, but we'll still be just at, you know, a decent amount in hell with what we have on. But okay resists. Resists are so very important, and we're in okay levels. Alright, no thoughts here. Don't ever get close to a body. Because I'll just pop all of them, right? Now that there's basically no bodies in there, we're fine. We're just going to go get our guy real quick. And pop this fool. Stop trying to hit him and hit him! Huzzah! Bunch of trash, that's okay. So we can just drop the run walk. We'll still be over cap cold if we swap to these, because I think this is the right move, right? We have some run walk there. 10's not worth that, and then that'll get us a much better thing. Still be over cap cold. Yeah. 29 more fire, or 24 more fire resist, because they've got a little... Yeah, I like that. Decent. All right. And we get to the tundra. Tundra's a nice open space, you know. It's one of those... It's the last nice open space you get, you know. After this, you get some tunnels and then, you know, Worldstone Keeps, so... It could be a nice place to fight people, but typically I would choose the first zone as you get a little bit more density there, typically. And a more predictable set of dorks to kick around. Oops. 2 sockets? I mean, maybe. I think it's 3 sockets we want for our next helm, though, which we do have a 3-socket mask. I could stand to have a lot of them, though. If I could make one of each of the special helms, I would definitely do it. I just don't have the runes for it. Will one of you please break the door down? There we go. Please break the door. This is when a skeleton summoner really suffers, right? When it's just like, please just kill one thing on the other side of the door. And then they do, and then you're fine. You know, because all power derives from the bones. You just got to get some bones first. Be something good? No. Still 6 strength. You know, for a level 10. Totally worth holding on to for a future character. Mayhaps. Don't think we need the crown. Little sketchy there, right? Pretty big density. We're fine, though. I'm just gonna back up. They don't have any real ability to project scary damage, right? These are all amateur fighters. Let's get to town real quick, not trying to mess around with menus. And there, gotta have discipline, right? We are been acting carelessly for a bit. Brandistock 4 socket, not worth holding on to, right? It's not strong enough. Hey, that's even more fire resist. That's awesome. Up to 66 fire resist with maxed cold and lightning and 35 poison. I actually feel super good about those totals. 827 HP, totally fine for Nightmare, right? Really liking where we're at. Very promising macro numbers. Of course, you still gotta keep your wits about you. You know, you can't, just because you've got max resist doesn't mean you can stand in the flame or anything, but it does mean you can be a lot more comfy when you make a small mistake. I would love to get like a fire absorb ring. We do have Hellord minions. That's pretty good potentially. Because if we can have a bunch of them when we go in to fight ancients, then we can, like, you know, get some work in. Here we're choosing not to blow up their bodies just because I want these minions to be running through the rest of this zone. And they are physical immune unless you curse them. You're already in that. We're already in that nonsense. Got it. He probably is almost entirely resistant to physical damage still, even with that curse on him. Yeah, these guys are hitting like absolute trucks. They're so quick. We have conviction on us. That is very bad. It's mildly bad. These are just skeleton mages. They can't really get anything out of it. And yeah, we pop them. Conviction is bad. You have to evaluate it immediately, but we're okay. We're going to take a quick break. Just a couple of minutes. I need to make sure that my brother's still home. So, you know, just got the old puppy to take care of. So I'm just going to make sure everything is good. And give the dog a scritch. And then we'll be right back. Fight the ancients and try to push through towards Baal unless it feels wrong. But with these resist numbers that we've got right now, I feel like we can at least give it a shot and see what it looks like. But I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Alright. To the Ancients. Of course, we lost our revives. What are you gonna do? Get some skeleton mages. The worst minion, but you know, they could theoretically tank some damage. Tier rune. Not the best. A little low rune. Never hurt anybody, though. Oh, I'm like, what's going on here? Big old guys, man. If I can just take a couple handfuls of them into the Ancients, then we'll be all right. But there's lots of cool revives you could theoretically get in there, but it has a lot to do with the positioning, because like you got to be able to get to the waypoint, right? So if your waypoint's pretty close to your Ancients thing, I mean, we might be able to do it without really too much worries in Nightmare here. Hell, Ancients are scarier. They're a lot scarier, but you know, by the time we tackle it, we'll probably be using like a big punchy weapon for the Merc by then, rather than meditation, and we'll just, you know, lean on him for that, and then we'll have, you know, a swap for him every now and then. Because really, meditation, it does... Insight, that is to say, the meditation or a runeword. It doesn't do amazing damage, but 200 to 260 is not, like, awful enhanced damage. The thing is, it doesn't have crushing blow, so if you don't get it somewhere else in your build, you know, where are you at? And there are ways to get it on armor, and much rarer on helmets, but if you don't have those, you know, we certainly don't have them yet. Gotta make do with what you can get. Might Enchanted Frost Mage is not the scariest thing. Of course, Might affects everyone around, so it could make, you know, if that was on those Minotaur demons, that could be, you know, real sketchy, but we're okay. All right, Area Summit. Let's go. Let's go right now. Keep the revives. We know the players call the game. Staying out, laying the decrypts on. These guys, along with the main guy, just absolutely schwammering Korlik. We've got him slowed down. We got Mad Dog slowed down. We got Talek slowed down. We need to feed the Merc a big potion and a small potion. Keep these on there. Having all of them together is pretty bad, but, we're just going to keep on feeding the Merc a potion. The revives are up. We haven't got any of them down yet. The Merc is wailing on Korlik. We're going to give him another potion. Because if we just get one of them down, then it's much easier for the other ones to work it out. There we go. And of course, once there's one, we can just get like a clay golem and be totally comfy. But we've knocked out this one. You can see from this that Hell Ancients is a whole different barrel of problems, though, right? Because our skeletons aren't going to be much hardier than this. And if we don't get, like, real good revives, what are we going to do about these Ancients later? The good news is you can reset the fight just by hitting Town Portal. But, I mean, we won't have to reset this one. But there we go. We beat the Ancients. Huzzah! I knew we had it in us, and of course you get a full actual level for doing so. Taking us to 58. I guess we just go ahead and push on. We don't need any other gear. Stat considerations, we're at close enough to max resist to feel comfy, I think. So we're just going to push on in. I mean, we'll likely be playing a chunk of Nightmare before moving forward into Hell. So we don't have to do this now, but being able to do, like, cows or terror things, that would be very appealing. These are cursed ones. That's very sketchy, but we're going to get the explosions going and then get some of them for our own. But then we're going to go to town real quick and get rid of this curse, because ain't nobody got time to lose everything that we've ever worked for. And under no conditions are you to ever look at your menu in the Worldstone Keep. You leave the keep. Because Baal will do this laughing thing at you, and then before you know it, you'll be a sad panda. Whoops. I didn't mean that I wanted to do it right now. I went into my menu just like I said you shouldn't do. Never do that. But our Minos are super scary, right? And of course, in the head-to-head, ours always win, because they're more powerful than regular ones due to our effects. Even though we don't have auras and stuff that matter to them, we still have our effects. And while my idea of a great time with Summoner is stacking a bunch of auras and stuff, that's not how I play hardcore. You got to be cagey. Called Enchanted, we're just going to give him his space. Bone Weave will sell for a ton, so we're just going to pick it up. We're just going to cure the curse real quick and grab some town portals, because I bet we're semi-low. I mean, no, we're not at all, actually. Probably bought more recently, but need to pick up some super healings. Probably like a lot of them, actually. So normally I'm like, when will we use them? But on boss fights, you use them just all of the time. Those champs, you have to pop them before they run into you, or you don't get the stuff. But the bodies, you can still explode, so they're actually very funny to see. I mean, I imagine they do big damage, but you don't have to let them do that to you. Got that loading screen music again. That good stuff that means that you are running Baal. Welcome to the Worldstone Keep. We find our way down, but we don't want to be down. We want to find the waypoint. These Minos are doing such good work for us. It's going to be a shame to lose them. But, you know, all good things must come to an end. But not this run. Just the Minotaurs being our guys. You know, the run must go on. You know, you shouldn't say it. I'm not superstitious. I am a little stitious, though. Oh, I forgot to get our diamonds upped. But, you know, I hope that we can make this run work out ultimately. If it doesn't, you know, that's okay. That's part of the game too. But I would love to make it work. Of course, we haven't even done any of the hard part yet. This is just the long part, not the hard part. So we're just barely over cap in lightning and cold, but that's still fine. Doesn't matter if we're barely over cap. As long as we don't run into conviction. Although when you run into conviction, that's usually a get out. At the very least, it's you need to immediately evaluate all sources of elemental damage that exist in the arena and whether or not that pack generates them. And if that pack does generate elemental damage, no matter what else is going on, you have to run the risk that it's going to run extra strong before you notice. So you just basically get out. Don't play around with your life in hardcore. You've seen me do some dumb stuff, but when we go to hell, you're going to see me try to behave a little smarter. We'll see how that works out. A couple of very weak mobs so far. 3 very weak mobs here in the third area, so even if there's like gloams or something, will be totally cool. Which at max lightning will still be cool there. But demon sprites are weak, and the little flying homing missile dudes are weak, and we've already gotten to level 4. I almost want to run around and farm these fools, though. Just because everything in here is so weak. We need to go to town and distribute some of these skill points. Because these guys are not, like, dangerous to you, but they are, like, annoying. They can be annoying to the computer. They can be annoying to you, but they're not, like, super dangerous. But we're just gonna... Really, because I didn't have any revives. Hey, the perfect diamond, just like we didn't have to work for. But yeah, it looks like we got actually a very, very weak world, Stone Keep 3... You know, I'm for it. And depending on, like, what you're doing, like, when we push for our Hellbell kill eventually, if we get there, when we get there, you know, we definitely aren't going to be taking, like, the dangerous ones. We're going to be trying to play it close to the old chest. But, alright, that was fun. Yes, a very weak level 3. And let's go ahead and grab these. And level 4 is Gloams as soon as you get in. That's very normal. Burning Souls they are here. Very normal. Pretty perilous. That's why you have to have max lightning resist. If you don't, they can spike you. If you do, especially in Hell, though, you sort of want some lightning absorb as well, which is what we will be going for. Is max resist plus absorb in Hell. It's not super easy to get to, and you got to sacrifice a lot of other stuff, but that is what we're going to be gunning toward, especially for later on. Alright, I don't love what's going on there. We're just gonna push forward. There was like a rare in there, I think, that was it might have multi-shot. There might have been like a whole crew of the Herodramachans. Anyway, I didn't really love it. I just figured let's not say we did. What a room! It's all good, though. And that is why you need max resist. Just, like, don't even think about what would have happened if you went in there with, like, -10. That's a dead boy. And of course, they can teleport, so even if you're in a somewhat safe place, it's not that safe for that long. But our guys will deal with them. It'll just, you know, take them a second. What a room. Like, what a room. But of course, that's Baal, baby. Alright. Oblivion Knights, I don't think they let you raise as minions. Doom Knights, yes, but Oblivion Knights, no. Yep, that is correct. And we're just going to pop out to heal up and get everybody in fighting form before this first group shows up. Is that all of them? Nope. Man, a lot of trash. Because they resurrect undead and the Burning Souls are undead. So, like, it's a super nasty room. First pack, nothing scary, you know, you just... You know, get your damage on. Try not to use all of the bodies so that you can use them on the next one. And here we have poison problem, where you usually have to just like leave about it, but if we can get one more body. So we got them on the Holy Freeze Decrypt now. Like, look how slow they are, right? Isn't it beautiful? I think he has Holy Freeze as well, so yeah, we're all very frozen boys. Hilarious. And a lot of those other big guys hitting them, those are my guys. Messy, not messy, not elegant. Alright, now we got Council, which are great minions, and of course, a huge headache to deal with, but hopefully they won't kill anybody. Because Hydra doesn't do good damage, right? It doesn't, and it never will. But the other stuff they bring to bear can be good. We're just going to keep them all slowed. We're going to bounce out real quick. Reasoning being that you got to figure at that point your skellies might all be about to pop. And if you just do this, it's a very safe way to make sure that they're all in fighting form. But now we've got council members. You cannot minionify Lister and his bros, but having some support should be good here, and then we'll get the Venom Lords. Just keeping them slow. That's all you need, and then we're gonna try to res these guys because they are quite solid damage in these team fights that we've got going on. And Lister and his bros are so tanky, so it's going to be nice to have some nice AoE pull on them. Just keeping the block slow. We're going to bounce out real quick, because even though I think we were doing okay, I'm not really sure about the HP totals there. And this will get them all back up. We don't have to worry about them getting in on us because they were already half dead. Alright, time for the Minions of Destruction. Here, Lister can have, like, nasty stuff. Holy Freeze, Conviction, Fanat. You just gotta hope that he doesn't have one of those. But it looks like we are absolutely trucking them down. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, alright, we just gotta... If we can push through this fast, might be able to go in and just roast Baal. Nice dream, right? Well, more prep time won't help us with it, so we're just gonna push it, right? Push it real good. Super fast, super clean. That's how that room goes, of course. Alright, and we need to get in there quick to save our guys, but more than that, we need to get Crushing Blow onto our dude. We'll lose our aura, that's fine. Alright, we can't equip that, of course we can't. I'm like, we'll put it on the weapon swap. No, we won't. It'll be alright. Alright, let's get to it. First thing we do is try to get into the center, teleport in. Alright, we see that we took almost no damage from that big ice spike. Very confident about our prospects going in here. We're just going to get the stick on him, get him in place, and then try to spike him all the way down and hopefully not even have to deal with more than one teleport. Oh yeah, look at that. That's why the Crushing Blow swap is what you do. I'm pretty sure this is the real Baal, not a clone. But, you know, that's what the Crushing Blow is about, right? Everybody else can help, and then honestly, like, if... Yeah, because look at how much HP we still have. That, with the max fire resist, like, he can't do too well against us. We've still got all of our skeletons up. He's not really sinking the damage into him, right? A beautiful kill, in the event that we get one, of course. Of course, all the revives are gone now, and that's the thing. You'll get to the point where you need actual damage out of the merc, so we're going to need a better weapon eventually. But this is what the Hellfight will look like. We'll just have better gear, and the merc will do more damage. It'll still have Crushing Blow, but he'll have a better weapon that does it. This is a very, very basic weapon. But, you know, we're getting them. Baal is falling. It feels so good. This better be the real one. I think it is, because the demon is centered, right? Yeah. Alder's Helm? That's cool. Yeah, we already have one of the other Alder's pieces. You know, nothing too good here, but the Alder's Helm is cool. You know, if I make a druid that's a shapeshifter, I would wear that set. So, but hey, huzzah! Why am I acting like I feel ambivalent? We just beat Nightmare on hardcore. That's not nothing. That's not nothing. Look, it's not every hardcore character I make is known as Conqueror. You know, that's feels so good. All right, let's run some cows, A nice celebratory cow. Cold Plains is terrorized. We might pursue that as well, you know, because, you know, if we can just get some good stuff on some basic dudes, why wouldn't we do it? Alright, we need to... Would have been nice if we got something wearable, but hey, it's Diablo. How often, how often do you get loot that you actually want for you? Everyone I've ever known builds a sorceress just to get gear to play what they want. No, that's not fair. Some people believe in magic find barbs, if you'd believe it. Takes all kinds in this world. Yeah, but we'll just rock out these souped up fallen, you know, hey, better drops in Act 1 while still having the safety of not having Hell's malice to our health. I'll take it. Because this makes it like the zone is level 62 rather than its regular zone, which I don't know at the top of the zone level, which I don't know at the top of my head, but isn't this high. Which I think is just, it's got like a max, but it's based off your level otherwise. So like as you level in the terror zones, they keep going up to a point for each difficulty. And then you can go to, you know, hell and whatnot, which just gives you a way to go and level wherever after you beat the difficulty if you're not ready for the next one, which is just so good. So good. But of course, even though these places are easier, you know, because you don't get the density of mobs like you do in later acts, them having better drops, it's really just like, it's great for variety. And you know, you want to see something like Countess, or I bet like a souped up Mephisto drop table would be cool. It is funny too, because it's like this is right where we would be in Act 1, basically. But yeah, this is just so nice. Because without these terrors, I don't even know when they put them in. I don't actually think they were for Return of the Warlock. The way someone was talking to me about them made them sound like they weren't brand new, or like you could still do it. You know, like without the expansion. But I just think it's wonderful to give a new place to, you know, somewhat efficiently level up to players, because the right places, you know, there were only a couple of proper places for each level bracket where you were supposed to go to level, right? And it never felt good to run the same thing forever or know that you were, you know, doing poorly because you weren't doing it. But now, you know, cool places to magic find everywhere. If I could find this cave, we'd go into it. Go terrorized the cave. We've got archers, but then just regular undead and zombies, so it doesn't seem so bad. Makes sense, you know, early thing. Rune swords dropping wild. And fallen, yeah. You know, it's probably all that can spawn in here now that I'm thinking about it, but very nice. You know, a cool little comfy way, you know, to fight some champs and some elite mobs that aren't full of crazy abilities. A nice little way to calm down, you know, here in the terror zone after the Baal kill, because as in Act 5, you know, they start giving quite a lot of force multiplying and like area control abilities to the baddies, which, you know, it's how to keep it interesting, right? It certainly is. Alright, these zombies are so early in the game that they don't even have a poison cloud when they die. Ha! Get wrecked. It's funny how cozy this feels, because I mean, like, they are high level creatures, but, you know, it's like in a way, it's like training wheels for hell, right? You know, it's Act 1, sure, but it's easy mode of higher level Act 1. Harder than Nightmare, but not nearly as hard as what's to come. Which is good, because honestly, like, I'm not ready yet. Like, emotionally, I'm ready to lose the character, but I don't want to do it because we just, like, neglected to get the gear right before we move forward, so we're just not going to do that, you know? We're going to keep on leveling, you know, more HP is good, and of course the Merc also. So right now, if we go, he'll have like 40 to him, but if we get, you know, 10, 12 more levels, then all of a sudden it's a much more reasonable thing to take him in, and, you know, he's not just going to be melting to whatever fool comes up against us. Holy Fire and Stone Skin, not really a worry. Holy Freeze. Actually pretty deleterious to us, right? Because it really inhibits our ability to get a kill, but of course once you get it rolling, it's just another party. We're going to take this Shark's Tooth to the shop and sell it for probably like 30k, because that's what armor really gets you at this point. Yeah. And honestly, you know, if you get an armor, that gives you a couple of chances to roll like a nice belt. Because our belt is like a belt, but it's not a nice belt. Hey, Minikman. We beat Nightmare. And then right now we're just leveling up some more. They have these things called terror zones. Oh, the terror here is over. Well, then we're gonna go and do cows. What's up is we're about to go to the secret cow level. We've just got to go and grab a leg first. Because there's a third difficulty level, but we're just not quite ready for that yet. This is not worth wearing over what we've got. I mean, like, it's interesting because it has damage versus undead. I'm just going to drop it. We'll never wear this on anyone, but it's in the list now, and the fact that the game keeps track of everything that I've ever gotten is very cool to me. So that's nice. You know, we got something even though we're just fighting these chumps. This is the very beginning. We don't need to be fighting them. This is the beginning of a nightmare. We're just looking for a portal so that we can take a leg off of a body and then go to the secret cow level. If that sounds like I'm making up any steps, I am not. That is what we're doing. And every step of it is necessary, especially the leg. Cannot go without the leg. But, you know, these guys could still drop something decent, you know. My gear's not so good that I don't want to, like, get a unique that they get in Act 1 of Nightmare. Like, a lot of those uniques are good. So, you know, we'll take a shot at it. Alright, so what we want to do now is get a little bit of Magic Find gear on. Probably not too much, right? But a little bit. Exposer, magic find. Because we don't need resists in here. We do need life, but not resists. Just a little bit would be fine. Do we trade 87 life for 30 magic find? I mean, that's the thing. Are we really trying to find magic stuff that much? That's a lot of life to swap. We'll try it, and if I even get under half life in cows, then we'll swap it right back over. I think that's been, yeah, you know, we'll just have the boots. I mean, we could use these gloves. We don't need light resist. Not really. I mean, the Cow King is avoidable. Change the name to reflect that Baal has been defeated, and that now we are going to do cows. Probably like a cow run, maybe two. I like cows, you know. Some people think that cow runs are annoying, and I think they are like a real gentleman's run, you know. Moving it in front of the stash is a real jerk move. Don't do this in somebody else's game, right? Alright, because I don't have visibility on what's going on there with that FNAP pack, it could have been the Cow King for all I know. I don't have any knowledge of what's going on there, so we're not messing with it. It's like, I just need one body. There we go. I found it. Now it's time for the cows to rise. And of course, cows are wonderful revives. Are they good? No, but they're very stylish. And I did see the guy's name, so I knew it wasn't the Cow King. We are cursed, which is not ideal. But the great thing about cows is they love to clump, right? None of them have ranged attacks, so they adore in clumping. So you can basically, like, pull a pack into where you've been fighting before pretty easy. And then the corpse explosions just right themselves, right? And while it's not, like, the greatest place to level, it's fine. And it's not the greatest place to find items. It used to be once upon a time. They nerfed it because, you know, they said, do we really want people to play in the joke level exclusively? I mean, yes. Yes, we do. But with low magic find, it can be a really good place to find bases for runewords. And with high magic find, you know, you can still get stuff. We certainly don't have high magic find right now, merely some. But bases are always good, and, you know, it's a fine way to get runes, and it's a good way to break up other stuff, because it's... Oh, look, you can die on cows, but it's relatively low danger to basically the rest of the game, because they are always going to behave the same way. You could really zone out playing cows compared to a lot of other stuff and not think, hey, what if I die? You can't zone out in Act 4 or 5. Not like I'm fully zoning out here. I'm just chilling, you know. Riding the feeling of triumph from our nightmare victory. Of course, hell is an even harder nut to crack, but we're gonna try to get it done. Let's go back. We got some trash, which could be good. And we just want to get our guy healed as well. Let's go ahead and gamble some of this off real quick. $27 life, not worth the resist, but you know. 41 life and fast hit recovery could be worth the resists. I mean, they're worth them for this. Because we don't need the resist for this. We still got some. You don't want to go totally zero, right? Because what if, you know, there's a Nova or something? And, you know, as a corpse explosion specialist, the way they all fall down, it's very satisfying. The cows move softly into the night. think I need to put the laundry in. Poor softly mooing cows. Yep, I'll be right back. I gotta swap this laundry over. Alright. Let's get back to Moo Moo Farm, shall we? Rare rings can be very good, and hopefully they will be here. We get a level. That can be very good, and hopefully we'll be here. We're going to go to town real quick to safely distribute the level and to ID the ring. To ID all this stuff, actually. That's right, we could sell things. Lose the life, but trade the cold resist for lightning resist. Feels correct. And swap for that ring is barely, that's just like stats, it's not even life, so yeah, that'd be the way to go. We can put it there. I don't think, like, cold resist is not generally the one that I'm worried about, although for like Baal or something, I 100% am thinking every minute about how to get more. 3-socket poleaxe. Couldn't have even had the decency to be 4. Alright, here's the Cow King's fort. We're gonna cut a wide berth around it. And that's the king. We just want to get out. There's no risk of our guys just killing him if we run away. And he won't follow us all the way here. I don't think. Let's just go ahead and hit another one. Where you at, Rocket Mishu? Hey. Another thing to identify. The Storm Guild. If you had it super early, you would be okay. Alright, not finding anything decent there. You know, you usually don't. But I hate to skip the packs. I mean, what if there's like a Stone of Jordan to be gotten? There could be. Alright, one more cows till they come home, and then that'll have to do for the day. Did Acts 3 through 5 of Nightmare today, though. Feels good. Demon Hide Gloves rare. Could be very good indeed. You never know till you check them. And they move furiously into the night. Charm, please be good. Meh. Very good. A 19 life small charm is like not bad in anything. I mean, if it had other mods, it'd be good. But 19 life on a small charm, we're gonna carry that like forever. That's awesome. I was carrying a 10 life grand charm for like 10 hours of gameplay. 19 life small is just plain excellent. If I could fill the entire inventory with them, I would. And then if I ever got another drop, I would just clumsily move it around. That's how much I believe in the 19 small. A very good drop. Cow King's Fort. Let's go the other way around, shall we? Not a good ring. Half freeze duration is worthless. I mean, you cannot be frozen, right? Half is whatever. Half poison duration's fine. It's not useless. Nope. Saves you 50% damage. Half freeze. It's the first second of a freeze that determines how bad of a time you're going to have. We do get a soul rune. Very good. We certainly need that for something. And if nothing else, then to make a better insight as soon as we can. I'd love to get just like a thresher or something. A souped up Flayer jungle. I'll stay here with my cows, thank you. We'll hold on to it to sell. Maybe it'll be worth something there. Not the other ring. It'll be worth like 1,500 or something. Well, That was a lot of fun. Love doing some cows, but... getting on to the end, and we're gonna put on our real gear before we log off. That way better anyway. It puts us over cap for this, but obviously in hell will be negative immediately, but we can try to address that. But for right now, that's all we've got. So we might have to just make some compromises, right? Nah, stealth is the first thing to go, and then lore, we'll just have to lose the skill, and we'll put on the other thing for even more lightning resist, I guess. You know, resistor king, that's what it's all about. All about staying alive, kicking and screaming. If you can't stay alive, you can't play. But at 61, we're not ready for the highest difficulty yet. I mean, we could go, but I don't think that's a good idea. You know, we can get 10 more levels. At the very least, we can't be going in there with negative resist. So we have to formulate a plan to get there. Maybe get like a Raven Frost. If we get a Raven Frost, we can drop the CBF on the shield for pure resist and not feel bad about it, right? Just like triple Ral a shield for, you know, 90, 105 fire resist. Doesn't sound like a terrible idea, does it? Anyway, we'll think about it. We have to get gear a little better suited for hell difficulty before we go, because otherwise, well, we're just gonna get run over. I don't want that. The skellies will suffer. We're gonna need something better for the merc. Best case scenario, we find a Guillaume's face, and from that gets enough crushing blow for us to just run through with it. But we'll see. We will see. We're a conqueror. That's what they call you when you beat it on Nightmare in hardcore. I'm very proud of me. Hope you are too. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed. And maybe I'll see you in another streamer video. Good night, Mendicman. Good night, Neo. Good night, Q-Limp and Keshamom. Good night, Chase. Anyone else out there? Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Sayonara. Goodbye.